Today, I would love to think about. Yeah, I was looking at my previous notes from the past month or past days. I've been Ellie. Today, you should think about being creative and leaving a mark in the universe. What is it that will you leave in the universe? What is it that? What's your mark? How you achieve that mark? This all started when I started looking at my previous notes, and I saw my in a month ago, September 13th, a month ago, I was watching Satoshi Kon. Satoshi Kon is this guy. Is this guy. I was watching this documentary on a retrospective on Satoshi Kon's career. We don't know Satoshi Kon. He's very popular video animator, anime artist, and he created one of my favorite animes, Paprika. Anyway, at that Paprika. This anime. This is one amazing anime. It is a bit. I like it in a way. It's very self-reflective. It's a anime that makes you look upon yourself and the blurring of realities and creativity. This documentary explains and shows the breadth of Satoshi Kon's experiences and how he creates his content, his anime. And he's known for that kind of style that feels like a dream, or blurring the lines between what is reflection and what is reality in the characters' minds. Very creative style. I say creative because it's not a typical anime that you would see. For instance, there's a scene here, yeah, that was shown in the documentary where one of his animes, the I believe it's Perfect Blue. In Perfect Blue, the character, which is a Japanese idol, would be dancing one moment and then being in the next scene looking at herself. Same with the Millennium actress. There is a scene there where it's like the scene from the movie Titanic where the old lady was expressing herself. And then as she's expressing herself, you're transported back to what how she's experiencing things in a fluid way that seems, you know, the same is with Paprika. If you've seen Paprika, there are scenes there that, because it's an interplay of dreaming and reality, there are scenes there that she thought she was still in it. She was in reality, but she was already being taken to the dream world. That self reflection for me makes me reflect myself. It makes me think about possibilities, realities. Um, it's like if you've seen the movie The Matrix, right? There's an interplay between reality and going to reality and going back to uh, that other world. It's also, I believe, it is very similar to, if not the inspiration to the Christopher Nolan's movie. Christopher Nolan's movie. Let's see what's said about Inception. Several critics and scholars noted many striking similarities to the movie Christopher Nolan Inception in 2010 and Paprika's back in 2006. You see, Satoshi Kon passed away, and his passing was a bit of a shock to a lot of his peers at the time. He was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer, given half a year to live. He had shown no signs of illness at relatively recent public events as the cancer progressed to a terminal state in a matter of months after being diagnosed. Kon died on August 24, 2010. You know, August 24th is my birthday. So Kon passed away in August 24th, 2010. Trying to recall what had happened back in August 24th, 2010. I'll take a look at my photos and see what was happening at that time. But at that time, Satoshi Kon passed away. This passing away uh, made me think of death in general. It made me think about my father as well. We are living in tough times today. I was looking at how COVID has killed more than 1 million people as of September 30, 2020. Look at that chart from COVID. These are tough times. 1.08 million worldwide. How has this changed society? We now wear face masks, face shields, wash our hands. In a way, this is a wake up call by nature to humanity. For me, this was a wake up call to be better me, take advantage. I'm really glad my father didn't have to live through this. It would have been a lot tougher, tough times, tough times. This has challenged me now. All that, Satoshi Kon passing away, making me feel a bit reflective today that what have I done to the world in my own way? What have I contributed? As Satoshi Kon, I mean, he has left a mark. That's an amazing mark that makes you think. I believe If you tell a story, you should make people think. And the more emotional your story is, the more powerful and meaningful it is, the more people will remember that story, remember your message. I have not gotten to that point yet. You know the things that we want to do, Ellie? Uh, actually tell a story, write a novel. You've been wanting to do that for a long time. And it feels so real now that I'm seeing all these things. I'm thinking about, we've been going through a lot of experiences in the past months with COVID pandemic, the past years with my father passing away. It makes me think about my own mortality, your mortality. So this is a challenge for you, Ellie. What are you doing with your life? How can you make something different, better, memorable? Picasso is often misattributed as quote to this quote. It's either misattribution. There's a debate whether he actually said this. A good artist copy, great artists steal. I think there's a deeper meaning to that. You need some inspiration as an artist, as someone creative. You need to start somewhere. You need input to create output, to deliver something different, to make new patterns, to express yourself in a new way, in a story that becomes memorable and um, meaningful to somebody else. A good artist will see another artist's style and try to emulate the style as close as they can. A great artist will select elements from other artists' work and incorporate it to their own unique mix of things. Let me just highlight this. Something I want to think about. Many people assume they are not creative because they set the bar impossibly high for themselves. They're happy to regard Apple, Google, and George Lucas as creative, yet they feel they're useless. That unless they come up with something wholly original, they themselves are not creative. The reality is that even if you believe have a wholly unique thought, someone in a row probably had the same idea 3,000 years earlier. And I'm tying this up to my what I was talking about yesterday about atomic habits. To be creative, you start with a little bit of creativity. You start with the little things and then build up on that little thing to create something new. And I guess to end this, revisit the TED the TED Talks and the TED Talks. Stephen Dinier's talk. Revisit this. Revisit this. How to achieve your most ambitious goals.
If I don't want to make a video like this of myself, I can just make a really
It's an
cute
ad.
one.
He revisit this.
be very difficult to argue that you couldn't make every gray square necessary. Nine, truth of the matter, replicate this image of a solid gray square. Every one of us. But before I do that, how many of you believe you could replicate this image of a solid gray square? I'm going to give you the skill necessary to become a world-class artist. And it shouldn't take more than about 15 seconds. But before I do that, how many of you believe you could replicate this image of a solid gray square? So doing, I'm going to give you the skill necessary to become. How many of you believe you could replicate this image of Brad Pitt with just a pencil and piece of paper?
This scene from Dead X Tucson by Stephen Denier. Something you have to revisit. Something we have to revisit. Before you can draw the big thing, draw the small thing, one day at a time, one piecemeal until you can develop the big thing and be creative. I love this guy because look at that. At the end, the things that he was working on.
And I'll be honest, I wasn't all that passionate about knitting. But one day I'm sitting under this 40-foot tall eucalyptus tree that's 2.6 miles up the Cold Spring Trail in Santa Barbara, and I'm thinking, that tree would look really cool if it were covered in yarn. And these public structures with yarn. And the second annual International Yarn Bombing Day was just 82 yarn
Apparently,
bombing. You wrap these public structures with yarn. So I went home and I Googled this, and it turns out this is a thing people do. It's called yarn bombing.
yarn bombing.
You wrap these public structures with yarn. And the second annual International Yarn Bombing Day was just 82 days away. So for the next 82 days, no matter where I was, if I was in a
so
board
funny.
meeting, on the trading floor, in an airplane, or in the hospital, I was knitting, one stitch at a time.
See, one
82
stitch at a time.
days later, I had done my first ever yarn bomb.
He goes to talk more about this. So I guess the point for you today, Ellie, is what's your yarn bomb? What is your ambitious goal and how are you going to achieve it? How are you going to be Satoshi Kon, your own version of Satoshi Kon? How do you do that? Well, my old mentor used to say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So start biting. That's it for today. Do you feel inspired yet? Let's end it with this. Yarn, yarn bomb.